What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 26th episode of Trench Talk. My name is Anonymous22 with my two usual co-hosts, NRV and LTR. NRV, how are we doing today?
Doing well, brother. I missed last episode. Not sure what I had. I want to say it was probably pneumonia. Got tested for COVID and strep throat, though. But both of those are negative. But it was, like, really bad. Had no voice. Couldn't speak for, like, 2 weeks straight. But I'm back. I've been very active with my research. Haven't been trading a ton. I could definitely use a break from staring at my screen, staring at charts, though, so I might do that in January. But, yeah, man, I can't stop studying the market and keeping track of what's happening. I think, like, we're set up for extremely, extremely exciting Q1.
Prayers up, please, dear Lord. LTR, how are we doing today?
Pretty good, man. School starts back up again. It's always that trade-off where it's like I want to chill for the holidays, but it's like my only time that I'm not in school. So it's like, should I just stare at charts all day? Should I take vacation off? Should I relax? I ended up relaxing, and I would say it was worth it. Money comes and goes, whatever, but time is always valuable. As far as trading goes, yeah, I'm excited. I think this year is shaping up to be a good one. Fingers crossed. I think we're in for a lot of fun. I don't know exactly how long the cycle is going to last, if it truly is the super cycle, whatnot, but I'm just here to have a good time, make some dough,
Valid. Just trying to stay afloat. We have a very special guest this week, Icebergy. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me. Kind of been checked out the last couple of weeks, so this is probably like a pretty good like catch up of like what's been going on the last couple weeks.
Perfect, man. Glad to have you here. That'll be a really fun-filled episode. 4 guys that took off holidays watching people hit mooners, and then we can all just complain about it. So
isn't that like CT though? Like we're super qualified to talk about everything. So we're gonna talk about politics. We're gonna talk about biology.
All we do is complain and whine.
PhDs.
Yeah, well,
if there's one thing we can't do well, it's wine.
Just to moon everything during Christmas,
Yeah,
like they're like, let's just send these AI tokens like 10x and while everyone's away.
I swear, every holiday season, there's always some good shit that happens every single time. So I mean, it's
a couple episodes ago, or maybe even like a month ago, I think I brought it up. I was like, so what do you guys think is going to happen year end? Like, I wanted us to make some predictions. I felt like there was going to be a pullback after Christmas. One definitely happened, but some coins absolutely ripped. Majors did pull back, like a pretty good amount. But there was definitely some huge cooks on chain.
Yeah, so basically what happened was everything was absolutely nuking itself because everyone was saying, oh, you know what? Oh, time to take time off for the holidays. I mean, nuke all my holdings. Yeah. And then you came back to 10x higher. So you're just like, what the fuck?
It was hard to figure
December
out when to load your bags up.
December 17th?
December 17th is always look at it as the top for Bitcoin. It was 2017 was the Pico top, and then that was 2018. December 17th was the bottom, and then the fall. I don't know what it is. I think it's people just check out for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah,
December 17th is a cursed or blessed day.
Yeah, I've done it the past 2-3 years, and every single 2-3 years I just come back to people just made boatloads of money on Christmas, around Christmas time. And New Year's, so it's just whatever.
I think I'm just going to have to start saying fuck my family. And I know my mom and dad listen to this podcast, but guys, wow. I got to pay off your mortgage, so I can't be around for Christmas anymore. At this rate, it's just it's not worth it anymore, Got to chase that bag.
LTR's family, he's not trading crypto, he's selling drugs to the cartel.
That's what I tell people at my college sometimes, They ask me what I do, and I would rather say that I sell drugs than crypto. So,
I have 2 things. My fiance, I used to joke and tell people I sold drugs when they for 2 years I didn't have a job, and they were like, "What do you do?" I told them I sold drugs. She got mad about that, so I had to stop telling people that. And then I think my fiance's mom will ask me about crypto related things every once in a while. and she just immediately regrets it every single time. Because I just straight up yap for like 5-10 minutes, and then I just realized like, oh, they didn't actually care. But
Yeah, this
it's fine.
podcast is really my
okay.
yap outlet, you know?
Just us, handful of traders, just trading money amongst each other and talking to each other on CT. It's just really fun bubble.
You know, I'm happy at least it's not the happy animals. They were not animals. They weren't even funny.
You weren't having
I like
fun
the
during
term
that?
happy animals. Like, it's not funny animals because they weren't funny. They were
Were they
definitely
happy?
though. Like, I think they were happy. A few of them died, though, so, like, I don't, you know, like, was Peanut really happy? I don't, maybe.
You know, everyone was honoring his memory with financial.
That shit really went over 2 bill. I just remembered that.
Yeah, don't think about your fun boy on. I remember that, too.
I totally forgot about that shit.
I fumbled
been a
it
couple
too. I didn't
months.
think Binance would list it, and I was like, "Oh, Binance lists it." No. I don't know.
There's actually been
always
talk
more.
about a lot of
Fucking
talk
Binance.
recently about the Elon family office because he has a financial family office, and people speculate like he was the top holder of Doge, et cetera, et cetera. But like now they're speculating that this family office actually trades for him, kind of based off his tweets, and they speculate that he made a lot on Peanut as well, which is interesting to think about. And now, you know, I'm trying to find these employees that work there possibly and find their wallets, because if I could copy trade Elon, that'd be great.
Bro definitely buys shitters and crypto shit.
Oh, he
posts some
definitely has
lady-
a CT
bro.
account. Like
Yes.
just yesterday it came out he had like another alt, that Adrian Dittman thing. He has Cyber Gamer.
Dude, I don't know if that's him.
Yeah, I don't know either, but he
People
definitely has
were
more than
arguing
Cyber
about that.
Gamer.
He's
I don't
here.
really think it's him.
What do you think his PFP would be, CT wise? You think it's like an anime chick? Think it's like a milady? No, I'm like,
Dude,
it's
it's
a
like
serious
one of
question,
those.
right?
It's like one of those fake alpha male accounts. It's
okay,
definitely one
yeah,
of
no,
those.
like a
Bro.
Giga Schiller. I got you.
No, like one of those that's like
Trading axe.
to
No
be
offense to
like
him.
to be like an alpha male, you have to do all this.
Oh yeah. You have to eat
So he's
raw.
mad.
You have to eat raw cow testicles first thing in the morning, bro. Straight swallow them.
Not that crazy, but along those lines, I could see
I
it.
could see that. I could see that.
Have you seen his physique? That's peak male physical.
Bro built like those Mucinex boogers, you know, on the commercials.
Jesus. That's you know what that is? That's a body of someone that sits on Twitter and crypto all day. That's exactly
Evolution.
what I picture them as.
Peak.
Baby. But anyways, now that we're off the yapping, Iceberg, would you be down to kind of give an explanation or a little intro about yourself? I feel like most people probably know who you are. You're probably one of the bigger people I saw follows like when I first joined in 2021. But just so people get an idea of who you are, if they don't know who you are.
I remember when you first followed me, and I was like, I think I even tweeted, I was like, man, Iceberg, you just followed me?
Day made, baby.
Man. I swear to God, I
that's
tweeted
funny.
something like that.
No, I started out small, so I understand. I had friends like that would follow me. I was like, oh wow, like finally, people are listening to what I'm saying. No, I got involved in crypto. Like I did like sports gambling and like lost all my coins like in 2015. And then just like a friend reached out to me in 2017. He was like, "Yo, you gotta pay attention again." I was like, "Sure, whatever." And then just bought some ETH. Like this is like Q1 2017, and it was like the ICO bubble was going crazy. So I found like this random chat that I joined that he like ran like he's like an ICO syndicate. And we just sent this dude all of our money all the time, and he just would actually like not scam us in the beginning. And so the ICO bubble was like really good up until like the end of 2017. So yeah, you just sent this random dude all your money, and like he would just give you like a 20x back. And this went on for a pretty long time, and then in 2018 was like all the ICOs went down like 90% when he finally got tokens. You're like, oh, I just lost all my money. But while that was going on in 2017, I built WhaleBot on Telegram, just like a pricing bot, because all the pricing bots would only trade in like Bitcoin prices at the time. So you couldn't like figure out what like the USD values were, and if you're like new to crypto, it was like super confusing. Or like, why is everything traded with like 8 decimals? That doesn't make any sense. So I built this bot so like if I lost all my money again, like at least I'd like have some like programming skills. And then in 2018, everyone just started slowly disappearing. ICOs would go down like 90% before you got tokens. There's really like nothing going on. So then I just started like tweeting and like talking, and I was like, well, I kind of saw what happened in like 2013 to 2017. So like I think it'll come back. I don't really have like much else to do. Like if this works out, like I'm not really like, I had like a job and stuff, like a career, and so that would always be my fallback. And so I just would like start tweeting, talking, and meeting people, and just slowly built out a network across like the industry, and just kind of gritted my teeth and stuck through it through 2019. And then DeFi summer happened, and got like, I was like, oh wow, this is like actually, you can kind of like actually use this stuff for something. And that kind of like a lot of people at the time like didn't really see. So in like 2019, there was this like DEXs are coming. DEXs are going to be the new thing. And then in 2020, Uniswap really took off, and it was like, oh wow, this is like actually a DEX people use. And so like a lot of people in the space took a while to make that connection. And so I was just like farming all these stuff, like buying like Yiffy and Yearn, and just went like super deep in like the like yield farming kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just been kind of crazy ever since. Did the whole NFT summer, which was really fun, but yeah,
I
just
wish
kind of.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, it's hard. A lot of my friends from like 2017, 2018, they all just like gave up. If you're like younger, like a year feels like it takes a really long time. You're like, fuck this, I don't want to do this. But as you get older, obviously like the time goes a little bit faster, and you're like, oh, like it'll be fine, like a year or two. And somehow survived the FTX Luna 3AC thing, and yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like a cockroach where it try to survive until the good times, and then the good times are pretty good.
All right, so curious question, since you've been around for a couple of years. When was peak lows of like your crypto journey? You're like, fuck this, I'm out.
Dude, probably like the 3AC FTX thing was like the worst. In 2018, it was like 2019. Well, 2018 was like, oh, this is a scam. This is pointless. Bitcoin only. It was like, okay, Bitcoin makes kind of sense. But then even then, like you talk to people from there, from like that time frame, they're like, dude, I don't even know if this is going to survive. I guess like I had some experience with like crypto and friends from like 2013, and they were like, they kind of sold me on the idea like this isn't going to die. So like I never really felt like it was going to die for sure, but it kind of felt like it was only like Bitcoin was going to like survive. But when 3AC and FTX blew up, it was like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah,
that was like the face of the industry. The stable coin blew up.
Yo, shout out my Gov class. We were talking about Roe v. Wade, bro. And ETH just took a negative 50% shit right in the middle of us debating Roe v. Wade. Like, this is a movie, bro. I was like 16. Oh my gosh. I remember that like it was yesterday.
To be honest, it was like the easiest bear market, though.
I agree. I mean, I haven't really seen any, but like, I don't know. I felt like I did pretty well in that bear market just because I feel like the people who stuck around were pretty real, and it was really easy to like make good connections, find good people.
Yeah, like there was always something going on at least. In 2019, 2018, there was like it was like Binance IDOs and IEO, or what I think they called them, like IEOs, and that was like kind of it. There was kind of like nothing else going on. There was no on-chain. There was no. Yeah, it was kind of like you get into the Binance IEOs, you hold Bitcoin, or yeah, you like have a job.
Yeah, sounded very limited. Now you get to choose between 50 AI slop coins, so which coin you want to invest in today. So look how times have come.
Dude, I think it's way better than the meme coin stuff. At least like people are like building things. Like
Agreed.
Oh, for
I know
sure.
the AI bots are like kind of like slop, but like actually having people build things on GitHub again feels like it's like wow, like people can actually like code. People can actually like build things. It's like, oh, that feels a lot better than dude, the blue chip meme coins of like I don't even dude, there were so many of them that people like create these like crazy narratives in their head and just sort of like screaming. You gotta, if you want to make it, you gotta hold this.
Gotta hold this fart coin.
Farcoin's funny though. You gotta hold this like cat that walks on a keyboard or something.
It was like the Ansems. It was like Hobbes, bro. Like Ansem's cat. Like, are you serious? Like, come on, guys. I don't know. I feel like the good part about this is, yeah, there are a lot of rugs with like forked GitHubs, etc. But I feel like the KOL stupid soul bundle crappy meme coins are like a bygone thing now, just because those same people can't really emulate what's being built.
They still get made.
I think it's just
but...
a start, though. I think it's really just a start of like I've been thinking like the AI bubble's like gonna come to crypto for a pretty long time. Probably since like GPT-4 or GPT, what was it, 4 that dropped in November 2023.
Yeah, 4.
But there was only just Tau. Tau was like the only good thing that you could actually buy. But now I feel like we're starting to like push the boundaries a little bit, but still it's not, there's nothing like, other than the price goes up a lot, there's nothing that like screaming this is like super innovative. But I think it's like gonna come like pretty fast.
Yeah, it was like Tau and Nvidia stock, basically the only way that people could realistically feel like they're
Render.
investing in Render too. I mean, but for the
Render
masses,
was
for the
okay,
most part,
but
it
like
was
if you try to
Nvidia
use
stock
it,
and Tau that people are using to invest in AI. I was going to say Iceberg earlier. I wish I was around to trade a lot during DeFi summer. I've seen a ton of people try to draw similarities between then and what's happening with the AI stuff right now. Do you see similarities yourself?
not really. Like the DeFi summer stuff was so crazy where like 1 yearn was worth like 4 Bitcoin. It was like 100 ETH was worth 1 yearn. So like all these people talk about how the meme coin stuff was like crazier than like anything before. But like having one Yiffy token that you could buy it like, people are selling it like $20 to like $100 like pretty heavily. So if you had like any money, you could buy that and just sell it for like 60 to 100 ETH, which is, I mean, you'd do pretty good if you did that. So it's just, I don't know. It was just a much smaller market though. So there were a few plays at a time. So like you didn't really get like distracted or pulled away between like, hundreds of, but I think that's better. So like the quality floats to the top now, at least.
No, I see. I got you. I mean, I wasn't there for DeFi summer, so I sadly can't relate. I think
You could
most
just-
of us are
The mistakes
21
you
here.
made, the mistakes you made were, you wouldn't get punished as badly if you bought the wrong thing. Like it'd still probably go up, but like you wouldn't like lose all your money in DeFi summer.
Mm.
So But now if you buy the wrong thing, you're like, you wake up and you're down like 70%. It's like, oh, that's fun.
I think the AI stuff is teaching a lot of people to, one, like, force themselves to learn how to buy stuff at higher market caps with size and actually hold the right stuff. And I think that's like a really tough mental switch for people to figure out how to like switch in their brain. And the other thing is, a lot of these are really different because so many of these coins have launched from legitimate teams, and like it's hard for some of these coins to like understand who the teams are and what their intentions are. But other ones, like, people are fully doxxed. You can see what their backgrounds are, and you're like, okay, this person's actually legit. But the actual AI projects themselves some of them have taken like over a month to like actually grow into what they actually are right now, and they're probably going to grow a lot further. So, one, you have to like learn how to buy higher and hold, and two, you have to like learn how to like understand that the product, so to speak, that you're buying is not what it's going to look like later. So you have to have like patience to let things develop. And I think that's tougher for people to like wrap their minds around, people that don't research or like mid-curve things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it gives you a lot of edge, though. I feel like if you spend like 5 minutes reading into something, it gives you a pretty good edge compared to like majority of like people, which I think is pretty like,
I love it.
I'm happy it's back, at least.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no. From someone that like was so used to, I think November, it was basically like I bought something and you would just FOMO instantly and make like 5, 10, 15x, like kind of within like a 10 to 30 minute time frame. And then December was a lot of kind of just buying, researching, accumulating, and I kind of missed that. Like, I don't know, I think I was just busy. I think I was I had my best trading month ever in November. I thought it was hot shit, and then I got put back on my ass in December. And it kind of just like, yeah. I mean, I agree with y'all where it's just the people that were doing actual research, taking time to look into things and building a conviction were like the big winners. So I am glad it's back. I do need to get used to it again, but I am glad it's back.
I'd rather be researching stuff like this than like forcing myself to stare at slop and trends on TikTok all day. Like, I like this stuff a lot more personally.
Oh, trust me, I like it more too. It was just the other way. I was making a shit ton of money, so it was just like, fuck it, what am I gonna do, right?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to be able to do both and move with the market, take whatever it gives you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a lot less meme scope slop. Just like, I don't know, I remember during the TikTok bullshit, that was like the worst, man. You'd just watch Memescope and see all the coins graduating, and it would just be like every single TikTok hashtag, every single TikTok trend. I don't know. It was just like brain rot on steroids. Like, if I want brain rot, I can scroll TikTok all day or Instagram Reels, but I do agree with Icebergy. Like, I like reading stuff. Like, right now I'm researching DeSci pretty heavily, and it's like actually fascinating. You know what I mean? It's actually fun to like read these white papers or actually do due diligence on like who these teams are, see their LinkedIn's, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it's more rewarding too. Like, when you do that and then you do hit something big, you feel like you earned it more rather than like, I don't know, whenever I hit big on some random volume meme coin, I kind of just feel like a gambler, I don't really feel like I really earned it or that it means something about my skill. It's not very rewarding. I mean, making money's great, but yeah, I mean, if you make 6 figs on some random thing where frankly you got lucky tailing a wallet in, it's a lot different than building conviction on something and seeing that come to fruition.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, I think it's also just easier to play.
Yeah, I'm happy people are like building things again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I was just saying it a couple months ago. It's just like, need people to build shit, have fun again, We were just too busy buying. I know I said slop AI, but slop AI is better than slop animal coins. So
well, it gives the scammers got to put in a little bit more work now. Before it was like, you could scam people by just finding some meme and bundling it, and you make a bunch of money. But now they have to like put in a little bit more work.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, it's definitely good. I'm not complaining. It does suck that I didn't adapt for some reason, but I think that was just with holiday laziness, honestly.
I still think the best is yet to come, like Bergie was saying. I mean, even with AI16Z and these other tokens reaching billions, I think like we still haven't seen like AI16Z is great. I think it gives people access to an AI agent framework really easily, but it is at its core basically like a ChatGPT wrapper. So I think a lot of the ground up stuff we haven't seen yet, like where it's actually someone building something from the ground up as opposed to taking API keys of other LLMs and stuff. So it will be interesting to see what cool things spin off of it.
I don't know why it took so long for someone to like. I guess like no one was really wanting to like pay attention to it, but like this seemed like the most obvious like thing you could build. I do wonder though if all the stars on GitHub are just because people think it's like actually A16Z, not AI16Z. And they're just like, oh, this thing.
There was also an article that came out, not to FUD, but there was an article that came out about fake stars, and that there's speculations that it might be, a lot of them might not be real.
You can bot it pretty easily.
Yeah, so it's just something to keep in mind. Kind of like rockets on Deck Screener, like how many people hit you up to be like, hey, you want to buy 5,000 rockets on Deck Screener for $10?
Yeah, I mean, the GitHub star meta, so to speak, came really fast, like really because of AI16Z, and like there's already been scams that have clearly botted their stars. It's kind of,
I think if you look at like the commits,
which one's legit and which one's not. Yeah, exactly. Like you can look further into it for sure.
Yeah, I think if you look further into it, like who's actually pushing code to this, and like if it's more than like 2-3 people, then like I don't know. I think that's pretty solid. Like a lot of the devs I follow on Twitter have been like talking about like how interested they are in AI16Z, and so I think I don't know. I'm just really happy that we're not doing the animals anymore.
I think devs got lazy.
Yeah, I think it caught a lot of the scammers off guard.
I mean, dude, you just make funny dog coin, make a shit ton of money. I mean, it just kind of you just get stuck in this just boulder, just rolling down the hill, just the same shit over and over again. So I'm glad we're back in AI. And then, yeah, I agree with there's just more good shit to come. Like I feel like there's just more eyes coming to crypto.
Yeah, like the hype airdrop, I think, kind of changed people's opinions too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's also nice to see something like a legitimate platform like that kind of, have something good come out of it. We haven't seen that in a while, I think. So it's just getting people to believe in crypto again for other reasons of just buying funny meme coin to make money is just overall a plus, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't really have... Memes are fine, but if that's all people care about, I think it's a little like harmful.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people are only bullish on crypto because, like, at the end of the day, they just think it's vaporware. But I honestly, truly think a lot of good things can come from crypto to be built within like the next couple of years. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm excited to see what comes out of it because, like, truthfully, like, virtuals is awesome, but like, I don't know if you guys have used virtuals that much. No offense to these guys, bro, but that platform sucks to use. Like, I swear, for it being as high up as it is, like the stuff that comes out of it is cool, AXPT, et cetera, but like, man, the platform still sucks ass to use from like a UX perspective. So I'm really interested to see, teams with maybe more money, maybe more funding. Or just like some ground up devs. I want to see what happens as far as like, is someone going to build that really nice to use platform that's really seamless? And I think they will. What I hope is that it's more a ground up thing rather than like a Monad VC 10 rounds, which I think is becoming less of the meta. I mean, we were going to talk about Echo later as well, but what I think is interesting is like A16Z crypto and a lot of these VCs are now pivoting to like giving grants. I think we saw that with GOAT, NRV. That's partly how you found GOAT so early. but it's interesting to see them pivot less towards just like pure larger scale investments and more. It seems like they're more in the ground. A lot of these VCs, a lot of them, I follow a lot of them. I have a list on Twitter where I track them, and they seem to actually like know what's going on, which is pretty cool. They're kind of in the trenches, so it's interesting to see that.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time for VCs to be looking at crypto specifically because of what's happening with AI and like the ability to like actually build successful projects that people can invest in. Mostly because these AI projects can do really unique things that that they weren't able to do before, whether they were VC funded or public businesses. You know, like it just gives a lot more freedom to the development side of things and very rapid ground up growth with like a legitimate user base like instantly, which I think VCs are really attracted to. You
That
mentioned
was the
Virtual,
cool part about.
I listened a lot to a podcast that they were on. Like that's a good example of like they're aware that their UI and UX like completely sucks, but they're working on it. Like you just got to give them time. I do believe that they're going to fix that.
The cool part about DeFi Summer was like fair launch projects and like people. I mean, just for long-term funding though, they didn't really work out because the devs like give away all the tokens, and then the only way they can like exit is by just OTC or selling the tokens. You know, obviously people who hold the tokens don't really like that. But it gave people a lot of opportunity that you don't see as much of like now. And so like you get on projects like the ground floor and you'd be like super excited about this new project coming out. Like the devs would actually be building something interesting. And everyone had to buy it at like the market price, which was really healthier, but it just wasn't healthy for like the people actually building it, because like they'd build like this multi-billion-dollar platform and they would just get hounded by people being like, when are you launching the next update? Instead of like them making like a little bit of money. And then it kind of changed to like rounds and stuff like that, which I don't know. I think there's like a fair balance to it where I mean, you want the team to be doing well, but also like pushing out updates and like building a product to be successful versus just like exiting their equity on the OTC markets.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. That must have been a rough time period.
Are you guys on
But-
Echo?
On Echo?
Yeah.
I'm
I
not.
am not.
I tried to like get into it early, and then I asked like some people about it if they thought it was useful and if they were using it. People seem to be kind of split. To be honest, I'm not like super familiar with it, only because I've never used it. But
I think the
had a lot of
KYC
interest.
just
I wanted
turns
to
a
get
lot of
into it
people
early
off.
on, but I never did. But, like, could you give a rundown for our listeners and also for me, like what have you found useful out of it? What does the platform do? Can people
So
get
like
into it if they want to?
it's basically Angel's List for crypto, where a group lead will post a deal and everyone can invest on it, like basically the same route as like the VCs. Sometimes even less than what the VCs invested in, depending on like what the team like wants to do. So like I did a round, and then I saw it pop up on Echo, and it was like lower than what I invested in. I was like, oh, sick. But I don't know. I think it changed like the public perception of the project quite a bit, and so people were a lot more like excited about the project. So like I think it's healthier. So you group leads will post up their deals, like deals they get. Teams will offer them like a little bit more of like an allocation, and the group leads post that round to Echo so that everyone in their group can invest whatever they want. You don't have to invest in every round. You can just you can be on there to like see what rounds are going around, like what valuations are like. How fast deals sell out. It gives you a little bit more of like an insight of like what's going on the platform, like in like the VC world, I run a group there, but I kind of take things slow. I don't really want to just like feed people a bunch of deals that I don't really like too much. So I kind of just I had just a few deals like slowly, but it's really beneficial. What I found is I've met a lot of like really interesting and smart people there joining other groups. People like I wouldn't really get to talk to outside of probably Echo.
So what do you mean groups? Like, is like different raises coming in and people are joining like a group chat for that raise? I kind of got lost a little bit there.
Yeah, so each group has like a group lead, and the group lead will bring deals to the group. They'll typically have like a carry on the round that they're doing. Some groups don't have any carry, but the carry is only on like profit. So like if the deal does super well, I'm pretty okay to like pay the group lead and like giving me allocation to like invest in the round. That makes sense?
Yeah, no, that made sense. Yeah, I definitely need to sign up for that. I tried to sign up early on, but then honestly, I just kind of got lost about it. So then I just kind of moved on with my day. But
there's some quiz you got to answer. I did it pretty early. Kobe like reached out to me, like if asked if I wanted to run a group. But now like I have like too many people to go. I made everyone like who wanted to join my group like a pretty like difficult quiz, and like made people like go through like a little bit of like a challenge to like get through. Just because
basically
I didn't want to like, accept like everyone. Yeah, I wanted to like use it as a way to like meet people. Because I didn't really know what like deals I'd get that I'd be able to like share with the group or like offer to people. But
are you sourcing deals on your own, or like?
Yeah. People will just like DM me and I'll talk to them, vet them, have a call with them, see if it's like worth doing. I've been doing like private rounds for quite a while now. I basically cut my teeth in like the ICO bubble, so like, I've seen the good and bad, and yeah, like private investing is really, it's not as easy as what people think, but it can be like pretty rewarding when you get it right.
No, it definitely sounds something I'd be interested in. I'm about to be signing up and bombarding you with messages every morning, so good luck. Thanks for telling me about it.
I think it. I think they've seen a lot of success with. They did like the big mega ETH round, and I think that changed people's like perception of like the round of like the team and what they're doing. And I think a lot of teams are going to try to copy it. So the sooner you sign up is probably the better. I don't want to be like just a echo shell, but I think it's like a pretty interesting like platform that a lot of people like haven't signed up for yet.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there that don't realize things like that exist. I've been aware of groups in the past that do similar things. Like I've heard great things about Arcadia. I think I've never been in there, but I know there's multiple smaller groups where deals like that are arranged, but they're difficult to get into. Some have like high net worth individual requirements, or following or vouching for people type requirements. Like you need to know somebody that knows somebody to get into them. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. And I think a lot of people are unaware that platforms like that exist. But I think if you also like to research projects, if you're enjoying the AI meta, maybe something like that would be interesting, because you're able to sort of cut your teeth on more projects that aren't just AI based. You're able to listen to presentations and proposals from teams that are actually like well thought out business plans, I would imagine. So yeah, I'm interested for sure.
I think it solves like most of the problems people on crypto Twitter have with VCs in general, or like rounds, I think that's like the major FUD Monan is going through. It's like, oh, we didn't get access, it's hard for us to bid now. And I think Echo does a really good job with that, because AngelList, which is Naval's famous project, or Bergie mentioned it, you still kind of have to be an accredited investor to use it. Whereas like Echo is very much so like, man, you can just be like a random CT degen, which I think is really cool. And I think it allows like some congregation of community, like you said, and it gives people like a more positive outlook on these projects, which is really interesting to see. So even if you don't invest on the platform, it's probably good to be on there lurking and, you know, hearing smart people's opinions and seeing
Yeah, it
general
depends on
consensus.
your regulation where you live based on if you can do some of these rounds, which kind of sucks, but there's not really much like the actual platform can do. But I do think it's like worth, if you can, joining.
That's valid. So, what can anyone kind of sign up to be like a group leader, or is that only like being like selected people at the moment?
Trench Talk group on the way, guys. The shittiest deals. We are gonna source the.
I mean, I think you guys can if you guys reach out to him. I'm sure he has quite the backlog now of like people who want to do it. But there was a time period where I think it was a little quiet, where people didn't really want to sign up or like didn't really want to join until like. Also, I've seen like talking to teams that they're a little hesitant since it's like a newer platform. They don't really want to like. You know, like if you're building this thing, you're building like your child, your baby. You don't want to like mess it up by just giving a bunch of like random people access to it. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time for like successful projects to be like coming out of there. So I do think there still is a little bit of time, and I do think there is like if you guys do want to run a group, I think you can just like sign up and ask if you can run one.
I only asked that because I would hope there's some vetting process to this, to where I mean I don't know, I feel like it'd be cool to like have, you know,
for my own project.
Trench Talk group.
Trench Talk coin,
shit like this not to happen.
bankless coin. You know, they did their raise or whatever. Don't they have a coin, a DAO token? Oh,
the deals are like vetted, like I mean, so you're not like breaking laws and stuff by the platform. I think, like they're not going to just allow like you to sell your private holdings to like your group and be like, yeah, it's a sick deal.
Fuck.
Buy my coins. And I think
OTC,
the group,
all my bags at 10x val.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that.
Damn it.
Okay, I'm glad. They found my
but
next
you also have the
scam coming.
choice not to. You have the choice not to like invest in some of this stuff. So,
I actually really like that idea though,
because it's asking me what geo I'm in, and I can't lie, obviously, because this is like actually serious.
yeah, you'll get banned if you like mess up some of the stuff. So just, I mean, you don't have to do it. There's like no pressure. You don't have to sign up. Don't have to use it. That's kind of what's nice about it too. But
No, I meant like if I'm an
there's
American, can I even use it? Or
if you're like accredited, I think so.
interesting.
I think just one of the cool things about the idea personally is just that, you know, I think a lot of us in crypto have kind of made decent money over the past year, especially ones that stayed around the bear market, 2022, and then 2023, 2024. I feel like a lot of us made a lot of money, and I feel like it would be good to be able to, you know, have maybe some rounds put money into, or just kind of be open to the idea of more investing. Because I know personally, like myself, I've made a lot of money off shitcoins, and you know I have an average trading size. Well, now my portfolio is larger than this average trading size. I'm kind of sitting here like, what do I do with this money? So I think it's pretty neat to maybe hopefully, you know, make that bridge between, you know, the shitcoiners and, you know, these big seed round people.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, have you ever done privates before?
Only 2.
Okay. One thing I would say is just be like selective. You don't have to give money to everyone. So what I was told, I mean, like years ago, is like once you have money, everyone's going to try to like take your money from you. And I think that's like a pretty good like way to like look at kind of these things. Like these people, they're just trying to take your money. Whether it's good or bad, depends on the scenario. But if you look at it through like that lens of like, it's just not, it's not as easy as people think. But there's a lot of opportunities, so you should, if you can, your portfolio set up that way. I think it's worthwhile to like consider doing it, but I wouldn't look at it as like free money as a lot of people do. I think I've like lost the most money from like doing private rounds than like anything else.
Interesting. We'll definitely take that advice, and also people listening should take that advice.
I've lost a fair amount of money doing privates as well. It's I agree with Bergie. I think it's this interesting thing where I think a lot of CT thinks it's just like free money, but it's really not. You know, it all depends on lockup, val, team. And things can obviously
it's
go
a lot
wrong.
of like liquidity risk and like having your money tied up for years.
Yeah.
Either have to like punt at everything and just do like hundreds of rounds and then like eventually like you'll come out on top, or like be very selective and hope your concentrated bets like actually pay off. But like the valuations have to make sense. The team's idea has to make sense. I don't know. I don't really think I have it all figured out yet. But I've been like talking to teams for a pretty long time now. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. I like seeing like what the new teams are coming up with, like what the new like potential metas might be, or like what like the smarter devs are like building. So like I always like to like talk to people to see like what's coming out, or like what is what they're building for the future.
No, that's super valid. Since you've been around a while, I'm just slightly curious. Do you have a take on how this cycle will play out? Or are you kind of just here for the ride?
At this point, just here for the ride. I have no idea. I like to think that the 4-year cycle won't happen again because, I don't know, it just never really made sense to me that like it just can keep happening 4 years every time, but then I keep getting shown otherwise. So I'm gonna try to like consider a little bit heavier on like the 4-year cycle is like a legit thing. But it's more about like just valuations getting too crazy, selling things to cash instead of like holding more crypto, unlike the bigger plays I do. And just kind of setting myself up early in the cycle. So if I am wrong, it's not like the end of the world. And I'll still hold like a bunch of crypto. And I can always like change my mind later. So yeah, kind of just like wait and see what happens. Like most of the times you can tell in hindsight of like, oh yeah, that was definitely it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like all three of us here are kind of just along for the ride at this point. I'd hope there would be some sort of growth within the U.S. government this year. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. Might just be Trump yapping and nothing really ever gets completed. So, I guess we'll see.
I'm just retarded, so, like, I accept that fact. And,
Yeah.
Even if he does just yap, it's still much better environment than we've ever had in crypto.
For sure.
So, I don't know. It's a lot of positives. Even if he does nothing, I still think it'll be much more positive than it was before.
Yeah,
I'm definitely like a serial optimist by nature. Sometimes to a fault, like I'll just hold coins that I think are amazing, and then they don't do well. I think GOAT's different though, by the way. But yeah, I think a lot of people just look at it as like slop, so to speak, at this point. But there's also a lot of people that are very glued to it. I think there's probably like a split on that. But what I was saying, like from a market perspective, like me being an optimist, I do think things are very different this time around, and I would like to think that I don't like the idea of there always being these 4-year cycles and then playing out exactly the same. I do think that if the masses think one particular way, it can influence things to play out very similarly. But I do think the environment's very different this time with politics and companies embracing crypto. I think it's only going to get bigger and better. Obviously, you have like the Murads of the world that project things to go crazy throughout the end of the year, all the way to the end of 2025, like maybe even into 2026. And then you have bearish people. I'm probably somewhere in the middle of all that. I do think it's going to be a crazy year. I don't even think we've seen the craziness start yet. We'll see.
Yeah, I really dislike doomers. Just being on Twitter for so long that I don't know. I've heard all the stories of like why it's ending, and like even if it is ending, they're like never right about like the actual reason of why. And they just sell like this idea of like this negative. I mean, a lot of the like doomers on Twitter and like FanTwit, they sell like Substacks and like newsletters and just they print money from those. So if crypto doesn't work out, just let you know, you guys can write like a doomer newsletter. And they sell really well. But yeah, I just hate reading their I mean, like at the pico bottom of 2022, people were like screaming no one can afford bread and like all this like crazy, like Europe's gonna freeze, Europe's gonna run out of food. And I don't know, it was just like ridiculous.
I think people like to, I mean, it's like that whole thing where we always remember like the worst things that happened to us more so than the best. I don't know, it's like people just love to eat that stuff up, so it is kind of funny to hear. I like tuning into them sometimes. I don't agree with any of them, but I always ask myself why. Like, what do they gain from it? Okay, World War III comes, we all get nuked. Like, it doesn't matter that you're right at that point. Like, I don't know, you're going to be trading cigs for food. Like, so it's kind of like, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been reading the Doomer takes for like a decade, and they're not often right. And then when they get something right, they'll just say that they called this for like half a decade later, and
yeah,
like, that's their. I don't even know how they like make money besides like selling newsletters. Not saying like completely ignore it, but like there's people's opinions that you probably can just completely dismiss, and then just the people who are a little bit more balanced, I think, in their takes are worth probably like considering. And like hindsight, the 2021 peak is pretty obvious in hindsight, which is like the interest rates and the Fed meeting and the inflation at the time. But it's much easier in hindsight to look back at it. But there are like people who are like saying like, okay, like I'm going to cool it a little bit. And I think that's a better approach than saying like the world's ending. Because like if you paid attention in crypto in like 22, 23, even if like your core portfolio took a big hit, there was still so many opportunities to make back any losses you had. It wasn't easy, but I don't know. I don't really think like making money in crypto should be like super easy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's a good metric, like how easy it is to make money. Because like during the bear, there were a lot of opportunities to make money, but I wouldn't say it was like so easy. I mean, you had Pepe and whatnot and that mania, but I feel like a lot of it was more grinding and really finding opportunities. And so it is interesting to see, like, I mean, it's almost like a casino, right? Like if everyone starts winning in a casino and the casino goes bankrupt. And obviously crypto doesn't work exactly like that, but it's a fascinating take.
Yeah, if you have like outside flows and like more money coming in, then things can sustain for a lot longer. But a lot of these are like circular economies where there's not like a lot of like money coming in. So like when someone starts selling, then that's like, okay, like that's a sign of like cooling it for a bit. You can see it in like meme coins and stuff across the board sometimes.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it'd be interesting to see like how many people actually make money in crypto, because I can't tell. I assume we're in just our own small little CT bubble of us seeing, the P&L posts on Twitter and everything, and I honestly have zero clue how outside CT bubble is doing. I couldn't tell you, zero clue.
One thing I would say is people still have like massive bear market PTSD.
Oh yeah,
which is really hard to kick.
I do.
Really
in
hard to
situations
kick.
For sure.
I think everyone does.
I
that
would say on
shit
my
is
price
awful, man.
targets, like stuff like that. Because I haven't truly seen like a full-on bull ever. I kind of joined right before FTX. So it was like, man, you'd be lucky back in the day you get like a 2 mil topper, and like so I think
Yeah,
trying to get out of that mindset is like, it's hard.
Did everything
but,
used to top at like 400K?
Yeah. I
And they
remember
would
being
just
in
die.
Consortium Key, we just had Boggart on, and like, man, that would be like the win of the day if you hit the 400K coin, which is like insane to think about,
Oh,
right?
God.
Like, but we've come a long way, but yeah, I'm definitely trying to adapt into that, like, holders not selling, which obviously you have to sell at some point, but just like letting things breathe a little.
Yeah, letting things that are like you kind of be like a momentum trader where things are going well, so you don't like need to sell. What was I thinking? Yeah, but like the opportunity to like change your mind on like it's a lot comfier to like size into things when everyone's like scared or terrified, like post FTX. That time that easy time of like getting in positions, I think is probably over, but I still think there's like a lot of opportunities across the board. But a lot of the money right now is just like rotating between so and so coins or like leaders or like, I guess it depends. Like if you trade like the exchange coins and stuff, you can kind of see like the hot ball of money, like floating from, okay, this thing's up like 3x, let's go rotate to this thing that hasn't like 3x yet. So that like little hot ball of money thing's still going on. I don't know how long that lasts. I don't know. I think like historically you can look at some of these things where a lot of like the metas or ideas last like a couple weeks, a month, here and there. But then every so often you have like those things that last like a quarter, 6 months. I mean, I guess you could look at like the meme coins that lasted like probably like 8 months.
I think especially right now it's really interesting with all these agents popping up. Like, I don't know, it's like there's a lot of memes circulating right now of like, oh, I checked what, AI people are shilling and I bought, and then they list like 100 tickers just because it is so like, I see a new coin every day on like my deck screener volume thing. It's like 60 million market cap, and I'd never heard of it before, which is like, that used to never happen. You'd like know every coin that was basically above 100 million market cap in like the meme coin space, and now it's like, man, some of these I've never even seen before, even with my wallet trackers and whatnot. So it's really interesting to see. Sometimes I wonder how they're all holding up, frankly, but I guess maybe there are a lot of new entrants in the market, possibly. I think it'd be interesting to see metrics on that.
Yeah, no, would be interesting. But I think we've kind of hit our time period. Mr. Icebergy, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been really, really appreciated for you to take your time, especially, so close after the holidays. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, appreciate you guys' like scheduling, because like I know we tried to schedule this, 2 or 3 times before and just didn't work out. So I appreciate it for being patient.
Yeah, I might try to
for
jump
sure.
in your Echo group, dude. Keep an eye out.
Yeah, you should join.
I might have to ask you.
When you said the
Let me
quiz
know.
thing, was it like a DeFi quiz?
You guys want to take it? I'll send it to you.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like I
You see how bad I
first signed
fail
up
this
for-
shit?
Take it
When I
live on
serve-
the podcast right now.
I think I joined Echo right when it started, before it like had all of it, and like I remember taking some quiz to try and get in someone's group, and it was like so hard because I was like, I'm a newer entrant, and like I didn't know what half the stuff was, so I might have been an idiot that failed your quiz. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I think I know who that was. I took inspiration from their quiz because I thought it
Okay.
was like a really good way to like filter people out.
Yeah, no, the one I took was like
So
it
I,
was
like,
like all these
stole his
2017
ideas.
DeFi coins, and I was like, dude, I do not know.
Yeah, I spent. I mean, like in the summer, things are pretty dead, so I spent a week or two like working on this, and then another week or two like I DM'd like 1,000 people this quiz, and like most people just ignored me. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. Now they're like messaging me like, hey, can I get in, please? I'm like,
Damn,
I don't know,
99
man.
questions.
I sent this to you. It's fast. I think it's like 20 minutes for 100 questions, so you have like 12 seconds. I think it's like 12 seconds a question. Maybe it's like.
Oh yeah, no, this
99.
is the one. I think I failed.
Oh, I used the same. I know whose quiz you probably failed. His is a little bit easier because he gives you a little bit more time, but I didn't want people like looking up all the answers and stuff.
Yeah, especially with AI
So
now.
I cut my time by a little bit.
Alright. We'll end this pod and I'll take it. No, send you the
The
result.
first
Send your
question,
score,
bro.
let us
You're
know
gonna
how
get
you
stopped
did.
on the first question, Anon, because I sure did.
It's fine, bro. 100%. But alright, we gotta end this shit. We'll keep talking after. But thank y'all so much for listening. Peace.